Hello everyone. Let's start with one more problem of Module 1. The midspan section of a simply supported girder of span 8 meter is a symmetrical I section 250 mm by 500 mm overall. The flanges are 100 mm thick and the web is 80 mm thick. The girder carries an UDL live load of 10 kN per meter. Determine the initial pre-stressing force and its eccentricity so that no tension is allowed in concrete both in transverse and service load. Loss of pre-stress is 18%. Assume concrete density has 25 kN per meter cube. So, here they have not given any figure. By using these data, we should draw this diagram. The first of all, it's a symmetrical I section. So I have written a symmetrical I section. Before that, they have given information about the beam. It's a simply supported beam carrying a UDL and it's carrying a live load of 10 kilonewton per meter. For live load, we know a notation has WQ. So WQ equal to 10 kilonewton per meter. Get back to this I section. The I section dimension is 250 mm by 500 mm overall. That means width of the flange is 250 mm as this is a symmetrical section here on both the flange. Even this is flange, this is one more flange. On both the flange width will be same, that is 250 mm. The thickness of the flange is 100 mm and the thickness of the web is 80 mm. But as I have written 300 here, they have not given this information. How did we get this? 300 is 500 minus 100. This thickness 100. Again this flange thickness is 100. Put together it's 200. 500 minus 200 we will get 300 mm. So 300 mm is height of the web. As they have mentioned, it's a symmetrical I section. From the bottom, the neutral axis is at a distance of 250 mm. That is, overall depth by 2 will give you the distance of neutral axis. So, let's start solving this. Given no tension is allowed at transfer and at working load. This point is important. So at the end of the problem I will explain what is this statement means. So and we will go to the remaining data. They have asked to find out the pre-stressing force, P value, eccentricity and loss of pre-stress is 18%. While finding out these things, we should assume the loss of pre-stress is 18%. We should consider, not assume, we should consider this 18% loss. So the first step is calculation of area of beam. Area capital A equal to 2 into 250 by 100. How it is 250 by 100? As we have two flange, one here, one here. So dimension of it is 250 by 100 into 2 is for a flange. For web it is 80 by 300 thickness and the height of the web. Overall the area value is 74 into 10 power 3 mm square. Moment of inertia about neutral axis, that is INA. How to find this INA? Here I have two different terms. Not terms. The first part, and I will say it as a first part and a second part. In first part, please observe here. I will explain about this. Usually For moment of inertia formula for a rectangle section is its standard, that is BD cube by 12. So here B stands for this, D stands for this depth of a rectangle. So width is 250, depth is 500 cube by 12 minus this part is important. How did I get this 2 into 85 into 300 cube by 12 is, see, to find out the moment of inertia for this I section is bit difficult. So what we are doing is, I am considering this I section has complete rectangle. I am just going to cover this portion. I am just going to cover this portion. I am just considering this as a whole portion, a whole rectangle portion. So I am taking this base as 250 into overall depth as 500 cube by 12, that is complete rectangle moment of inertia I have written, minus 2 into these two values, that is whatever this space is there, I am assuming that I have covered it in a rectangle. This portion is present inside the rectangle. I want to remove this portion, these two portion here, left side as well as right side. So what is the width here? It is 85 mm. What is the depth of this portion? It is 300 mm. Like that, and we have a same dimension of two elements. So I am using it as 2 into 85 into 300 cube by 12. So when we subtract this portion from a whole rectangle, we will get a moment of inertia about neutral axis for a system, okay, whole system. So it is 2.22 into 10 power 9 mm power 4. As this is a symmetrical section, we should consider sectional modulus as ZT equal to ZB. Sectional modulus at the top and sectional modulus at the bottom both will be equal only when it is symmetrical section. So standard formula for that is INA by Y. INA we have found out. Y is nothing but 500 by 2, that is overall depth by 2 for a symmetrical section. So it is 250. So we get 8.88 into 10 power 6 mm cube has a sectional modulus. Next, dead load of beam. The dead load of beam is denoted by Wg equal to area of section into density. The area of section is nothing but we have already calculated here, that is area of the beam portion. So 74 into 10 power 3 mm square is there. I want this area to be converted it into meter. So here whatever you can see 10 power 3 whole square, this is just a conversion from mm to meter. Into density they have clearly given in the question, so take it as 25 kilonewton per meter cube. So Wg will be 1.85 kilonewton per meter. Next one is using dead load and using live load, we should find out their moments. So the live load what they have given in the question, it is 10 kilonewton per meter, and what is a dead load, it is 1.85 kilonewton per meter. So using these two values we should find out mg and mq. Okay, and one more important thing is, how did I write this Wg L square by 8 is, see, for a simply supported beam carrying a UDL, the moment bending moment at the center formula will be WL square by 8. As we are dealing with a dead load and a live load, I am making a small changes in notation. I am using it as Wg and Wq. So Wg is 1.85 into 8 square by 8, that is overall length of the span. capital L stands for span. It is 14.8 kilonewton meter for a dead load. For a moment of dead load, moment of live load is 10 into 8 square by 8 will give you 80 kilonewton meter. The next thing is a transverse condition. This is very important. See, always remember we have two conditions, that is working condition and a transverse condition. So usually in working condition only pre-stressing force and dead load will be present. Live load will be absent in transverse condition. But here so that only I have mentioned it here, that is PS plus dead load. Remember, live load will be absent in transfer condition. Next, in working condition, you can see here in working condition we have pre-stressing force plus dead load plus live load. In working condition, live load will be present. In transfer condition, live load will be absent. Okay, so this is important point or important difference between transverse and working condition. The next thing is now we should remember those points which they have mentioned in the question before solving further things. Okay, so they have given no stress in transfer condition. If transfer condition live load is in transfer condition live load is 0, so MQ equal to 0. We know that for F superior, F inferior, we have a separate formula like this or standard formula like this. As in transfer condition, live load is not to be considered or it is not present in this condition, then moment due to live load will also be 0. So this MQ is made as 0. So I have mentioned that here. And see, observe this carefully. See, in transfer condition, when we have pre-stress force and a dead load, when we have pre-stress force and pre-stress and dead load, obviously it will be cable or tendon will be hogging. Okay, so because of this nature, where is the tension? It is at the top here. For this condition, it is at the top. So for top, what we mention it as, we will use it the notation as F superior when tension is at top. So they have given in the question itself, given no tension in transfer condition. So F superior is 0. Why I am mentioning this hogging? To make you remember about F superior. Here equate F superior to 0, MQ will be 0. After here the P value is unknown, PE value is also unknown. Why? Because this is these two are the terms to be found out, that is P value as well as E eccentricity should be found out, and remaining things we know G by ZT or complete take it as a Z, anything is fine as this is a symmetrical section. We will when we simplify this, we will get one equation, that is equation 1. Equation, observe carefully, equation 1 consists of P and also PE. Okay, the remaining numbers without any letters, it should be towards right side, and it is here it is minus 1.67. so this is the first equation for first condition. Okay, the next condition is at working condition. So as we know that for working condition, live load will be present, and we should add all these, or we should consider all these conditions, that is pre-stress, dead load and live load. For working condition we should consider that. Next, when we have a live load on a beam, here when live load was not there, beam was trying to hug, but when live load is present, beam will try to sag itself. When sagging is there, where will be the tension? Tension will be exactly at the bottom. Okay, so compression will be at the top and tension will be at the bottom for working condition. So in question they have mentioned no tension is allowed even in the working condition. For this bottom layer, what do we have a notation? We have it as F inferior. So because of this condition, you just substitute or equate F inferior as 0. Okay, equate it to 0. Next, the loss of pre-stress. This is for F inferior formula, and here don't make MQ as 0, as there is a live load here. We should consider moment due to live load also, so MQ will be present. Next, we should consider loss of pre-stress as 18%. You should remember one point, that why we didn't consider any loss of pre-stress for this condition, but why did we consider for this second condition means, see here, here we don't have live load, that is LL is not present in the transverse condition. When live load is not there, there won't be any chances, there won't be any losses due to pre-stress, so that 18% is not considered while calculating. But here live load is present. When live load is present, loss of pre-stress is there, that is 18%. How we should consider it? Use it as, that is 18 by 100, you will get 0.18. So subtract 1 minus 0.18, you will get 0.82. Okay, this should be after considering a loss, this should be the value. So 0.82 should be considered only in the working condition, but not in transfer condition. You just understand the difference. There in first condition live load is not there, in second condition live load is there. As live load is present, the loss of pre-stress should be considered. How it should be considered? It should be 18%. 18% means 18 by 100 equal to 0.18. So subtract that 0.18 from 1, you will get 0.82. Now take that 0.82 and substitute it, um, 0.82% of pre-stress. So 0.82 P, 0.82 PE we should consider. After simplifying everything, we'll get a equation number 2. So what is this equation 2 is nothing but this solution for this, equation for this. So the second equation we got. So solving 1 and 2, you should consider this equation also. If you want, you just highlight this equation for your reference. Okay, this is equation 1, and next this is a equation 2. Okay, now considering this equation 1 and 2, or solving this equation 1 and 2, we will get a value of P and PE. Please observe carefully. In equation itself, we have a term like P here. and PE here. So whatever value will come, so it will come in a form of P equal to some value, PE equal to some value, like that we will get a solution. So P equal to how much it is, 421 into 10 power 3 Newton, and this is a first value after solving the equation we will get. Okay, so the second value will be P equal to 65.08 into 10 power 6. So the thing is, we need a value for P as well as E. Okay, so P is over, the first part is over. The next part is to find out E value. So PE into this value you equate it. So we know how much is P, by this value divided by P will give you E. So E is nothing but 154.58 mm. This is what, this is nothing but eccentricity of the cable. The first thing is, you can highlight this also. In question itself they have asked you to find out how much is P value, how much is E value, both values are found. We have satisfied whatever they have asked in the question. Thank you.